Bring it
down. Bring it down. Sorry, bring it down. We will see.
That's codeine. That's a bottle of codeine.
Okay.
Sit down, carry it.
You just recover the. You can even smell.
You can perceive the smell of smoke.
Yeah. Can you smell some?
Yeah. You can perceive the smell.
This is where Rapinol was recovered from. You find.
Go in.
Please let our officers leave the camera.
Wait, you talk, sir.
So here we arrested a young lady. A young lady of.
That's the commander, FCT commander.
Okay.
They handle the.
Yes, 20 years with some quantities of Rapinol. And one other person with some paraphernalia of using crack.
Crack cocaine.
So it was obvious that they must have used the crack. As you enter here, you perceive the odor of different kinds of drugs here that are being smoked. As you all know, Rapinol is one of the death red drugs. It is used for, by all these drug users to rape their victims. So we found this with the girl, and what normally happens here is that we have about 5 girls, or 3 girls, or 4 girls in this hotel, occupying one room, which we believe is something very, very abnormal. The size of the room, I think about 3, 4.
You want to go inside to get something?
How many of them? There were 3. One was used against the 2 occupants, the boy and the girl. Then the stem was recovered in the girl's back.
Okay.
One of it. Then one was recovered at the window there.
So, gentlemen, this is another room. Here, paraphernalia of crack cocaine. Now, as I was saying, here is another room where arrest was made and paraphernalia of crack cocaine was also recovered. And I think you have 3 persons taken from here. 2. Okay, lady and a guy. Yeah. The paraphernalia was recovered from the lady's bag and another one from the other corner of the room.
Yeah, one additional thing is we need to understand that this place is well disguised and well secluded intentionally in order to have a cover-up. If you look at the main entrance of these premises, you will not see any name of a hotel. In other words, it's only those that are non-customers that will get into these premises. Mostly girls who are kept here sometimes by some notable or very highly placed individuals for months, for weeks, for days. And they patronize, these drug dealers and sellers within the premises. We have seen the barrier where they sell this into them so that they could seduce their victims and also have fun here. So that's exactly what is happening in this hotel. And that is why it is now under investigation by the NDLEA and City Command.
Anybody, any landlord or property owner fund to allow his or her premises used to sell or take illicit substances would have the law to contend with. And one of the discoveries we're making here, a very thorough investigation carried out by the FCT command of the agency, is that we discovered that this premises was being used by drug dealers right at the bar there, to sell drugs to young ladies who are camped in the rooms we have taken you around, and we believe this is absolutely wrong. It's against the laws of the country, and we're taking this out to raise public awareness about it so that other people whose premises may be used for something like this would not have to wait till the NDLEA gets to them, because, like I said, those involved in this do not go scot-free. At this point, I'll hand you over to the FCT commander, that's Malami Sokoto, to give you some further details on this, the seizure here and the arrest of some suspects.
The Director of Media and Publicity of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Mr. Femi Babafemi, has already said much about this seizure and arrest. As you could see, this is a premises that's being used as a hotel, even though it has not any designation. It's not customized properly to show or depict that this is a hotel environment. When you come inside, you don't see any sign. When you get inside, that is when you get to know what is here. So I believe it's a multiple-purpose environment. Unfortunately, there are a lot of miscreants, a lot of crimes that are going on, possibly because of the use, trafficking, and peddling of drugs that we found thriving in this place. We had an information about this place for a quite long time, and we mounted serious surveillance and developed an intelligence product to confirm that there are activities of drugs going on in this environment. And when we stung, we arrested some young ladies with quantities of propinol and paraphernalia of crack drugs, crack cocaine, which has been smoked already. As you could see when you just came in, we also found an empty bottle of benylene with codeine. And I've said that drugs like this are always, related to crimes like sexual violence and gender-based crimes. This is exactly what is happening here. We have a place that is turned like a brothel, a place that is supposed to be a residence, but it's turned to something else. And when we discovered this, we placed this place under serious investigation by the NDLEA. I've already had contact with the FCTA, and if our investigation reveals that this premises is not registered as a hotel, to operate as a hotel within a residential area, then definitely the FCTA will take adequate action. And only God knows the kind of action they will take on their own, while we continue our action until we secure order of the court to completely seal this environment.
Thank you, gentlemen. Like I told you, a comprehensive statement will follow first thing tomorrow morning.
Seen here are different assorted types of drugs, cookies, brownies, and gummies. Now we even have gummies, according to one of the correspondents there. So the gummies came from abroad, and we monitored it coming from UK until we seized it here in the FCT. While some of these brownies you are seeing are not only found in some hotels, they are also found in some of the parks, gardens, and recreation centers in the FCT. There are a lot of people now, a lot of young girls who are engaged in the production of these brownies and cookies, and they sell same to people, in parties, particularly in some parks. We have made some arrests in some parks where we got some drugs from people around the parks, and recently we have clamped down on some of these parks. We have engaged all the association and members of parks and recreation centers here in the FCT, and also members of the executive of the hospitality industry, with a view to have that mutual beneficial relationship. While we try to sanitize the FCT of drugs, we also allow them to do their businesses unhindered. So they gave us information, and we also carry out our duties of ensuring a drug-free society. What we are doing as a preventive strategy is to ensure that in all the parks and gardens and hotels in the FCT, we have this caveat, we have this notice, which is a disclaimer notice to show that smoking of weeds or any narcotic substances are prohibited within these premises. And we have a hotline which the management or anybody, any law-abiding citizen within the parks, the hotel, clubs, or recreation center can just call on these hotlines, and then we'll get to the scene of the crime, make arrest, and ensure that we sanitize the area. So it's a shared responsibility between the NDLEA and management of parks, gardens, and hotels in the FCT. Very soon, in the next couple of weeks, all the hotels and parks and gardens in the FCT will have this placed strategically in some conspicuous areas in the clubs, parks, and gardens and hotels in the FCT. And this will serve as a preventive measure. As I said, as the media director said, now the essence is to ensure that this administration ensure that it's no longer business as usual. Everybody must be involved in the fight against drug and substance abuse in the FCT and Nigeria at large. Thank you. Do you have any questions, please?
Yes. Okay. It's because you are based here, I'm sure you would have seen that in some of our statements recently, some people were arrested in Edo State. You reported that. Others were arrested in Lagos State. Because you are based there, that's why you have that feeling. It's the same, what you are witnessing in Abuja is the same thing happening. I'm sure by tomorrow, you know, I try to dish out a number of information on our operations, arrests, and seizures, usually weekends, Sundays. I'm sure you will see quite a number. In fact, what we have at the moment, what I have in my record, if I have to be dishing that out every day in the next 6 months, I won't exhaust them. So that is just, we just show you a sample. Like this, in this case of Jab suits, where we're coming from, is a typical one. Just like I said before, it's just to raise awareness about what some of these premises are being used for, so that owners of those premises would also have to take responsibility. You need to get involved in what your premises, what your buildings are being used for. You take interest in them so that ultimately, because there is a liability on you, you have a responsibility. Otherwise, when such cases go to court for prosecution, you may lose your property at the end of the day. So this is just to raise awareness and let the public know that this thing is going on and they need to be proactive about the management of their own property and premises. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, sorry, where we are coming from, how many arrests do you have in that place? How many people do you arrest in the place?
4. We have 4 suspects, 2 female and 2 male.
Don't worry, you have all the details in the statement tomorrow.
Yes.
Don't forget that drug test at the moment is a voluntary thing. There is no law compelling it. It's just part of our advocacy programs to encourage people to come forth and do it. Whether you are a student, whether you are an intending couple, political office holder, or whoever you are. It's just an advocacy program to encourage people to come forth. So if she's interested, if she wants to probably prove something to the public, then the NDLEA will be glad to welcome her and conduct on her a drug test. That's not a problem. Thank you.